Hi, it's Audrey. I'm coming to you from my living room in High Point, North Carolina, and in this episode we are talking OERs. This is a hot topic in higher education right now because of the rising cost of textbooks, which can be a real barrier for students. Not only to attending college, but also for successfully completing their classes because sometimes students just can't afford the books. So they try to get away with not buying them or borrowing them from friends or using them, like a copy from the library or what have you. But it's not just that, I think, that's driving this. I think it's also just the explosion of resources that are available today. So, if you wanted to learn something new, a couple decades ago, what options did you have? You'd probably end up at the library or the bookstore. But things have changed so rapidly. Obviously, if you wanted to learn something today, of course, your first stop would be your phone or your computer. Basically, the entirety of human knowledge and information is available online. I think, if your first stop to learn something is the internet, it just makes sense that more and more faculty would be using it in the classroom. So I think it's a combination of things. The cost of textbooks, the availability of free resources is leading just to, a moment, if you will. So to address this interest and this need, there are lots of grant programs out there to encourage the creation and adoption of OERs. Here in North Carolina, for example, NC Live is offering $1,000 grants for instructors who move from a pricey textbook to an open textbook. NC Live is the state's consortium of libraries. This initiative is trying to harness the collective expertise of the 200-member library staff to curate a collection of open textbooks and promote their adoption. This is a great opportunity to earn some money to switch textbooks while saving students money. A drawback here might be that the focus is truly on open textbooks. Great courses, in my opinion, use the backward design approach, focusing on learning outcomes rather than working through a textbook. I asked NC Live why they were focusing on open textbooks rather than more granular learning objects that support identified learning outcomes, and they said that they thought it would be too big of a leap for faculty, that faculty are used to using textbooks, and the goal here is promoting free materials. I disagree. I think that it's a bit insulting to faculty, to be honest, and obviously as an instructional designer, I'm always going to prioritize the effectiveness and the quality of the design. Of course, I'm still encouraging faculty to go for it. I'm there for them to help with the design, and with a free textbook, there's less pressure to use all of it, to work from cover to cover, since you're not asking students to invest in it. So I'm planning to support them in their design to still use that backward design approach and then fill in the gaps with the more granular resources to support student learning as necessary. I really do applaud NC Live. I know they had $100,000 to give to participating faculty, and I know they're seeking more, and I do hope they get it. Having said all that, about the ability of faculty to attack OER course development, there's an undeniable investment in the time required to do this, and that time comes from somewhere. The more time they're spending on course development, the less they're spending on their students or their advising loads or their college service. The great thing about the grant opportunity is that faculty might make room over the summer or winter break for a project they're getting paid for. And this is such a student-friendly initiative. I'm definitely making time in my day to investigate OER resources and grants. But textbook publishers, of course, are taking notice for sure. If you happen to know a publisher rep, they'll be the first to tell you that they're kind of shaking in their boots a little when it comes to talking about OER. We're hearing about massive layoffs and restructuring. We're hearing about them trying to sell OER packages like curated bundles, advertising that they've taken the guesswork out of it for you, and your students will only have to pay $28 for the OER bundles as opposed to like $78 for the book. But you know what? I'm not really cool with that. Asking students to pay for resources that are open and free. No. And again, I think that it's just a little insulting to faculty. Faculty already are experts. I don't know that they necessarily need a textbook publisher employee to determine the credibility or quality of a given resource. So just no on that. On a closing note, I'm just going to tell you a quick story about my mom. She had these wind chimes that had broken and she wasn't sure if or how she could fix them. I told her to YouTube it and she laughed. No way would she be able to find such specific content on YouTube, but that she'd humor me and look it up. She came back and she had to admit that she was wrong. There were actually lots of results and her wind chimes were fixed. Just what an exciting time to be an instructional designer. What a great time to be alive. Take care, folks, and let me know what your thoughts are.